What's going on, everybody? Rob here, aka Trev2323. Before I shoot this video, I guess make sure I get that lens cleared off over there. But so this is what I'm working on today. I have this huge 200,000 BTU burner. I'm gonna fabricate into my burner. That's the burner that we use the seafood boil on. And this is an old one. You see, that's maybe a 10,000 BTU homemade burner with rivets. Look at that, look at that, look at that. But I got a 200,000 BTU one, and we're gonna try to fit it in there for the next seafood boil. Stay tuned. Okay, so my attempts were to clear off my work table over here so you could have all this light. I got all the lighting around to lift this up there and work on it standing up. I threw out my back yesterday. I'm on a week vacation. I lift 6 bags of concrete, and it's the worst I've ever hurt my back before. So to start this project right here, what I'm going to do is start this. Oh, this is so dang heavy. Is start dismantling this. By dismantling this, I'm going to take all these connections off right here. I'll probably save those to reuse it. Flip it on its side because there's 4 screws right here that are holding these bars in. And I'm going to dismantle that right now. I got another hose with the control on it, so I'll take all this off if I can. See, that's just a compression fitting with that on there, so that's gonna be almost impossible to get out. I don't need to get that out. What we're gonna do is we're gonna turn it over now. I save all this stuff. I don't know why. I say I'm gonna use it down the road, and heck, I just bought another one, and I found another one I had down the side. All right, there's some screws right here for. Could really bend over or lift. You can turn it over to get some light down here. That's how it's screwed on. Pretty good job there. Look at it, screwed on right there. So now I gotta take all those off, and then I'll be able to. Actually, if I take this one off first and this one off, I can slide the burner part out. Nah, I'm gonna take the big ones off first. I'm gonna take all those off first. All those 4 off first. Then I'll pull the whole thing out there. Okay, so I got all the screws out right there. Now I'm gonna try to use the same screw holes because this has screws already fabricated in the side to hold it in place. So I'm gonna attempt to use the same screw holes, but oh man, this is in there. I gotta flip it over and try to hit it down. I don't know if they tried to weld it on or what, but oh, there's one loose. This one's on there. See, they're on there, so I gotta flip it over or get a crowbar and try to pop it up. All right, I had to pull out my trusty Thor hammer, is what I call it. And this is actually hanging on pretty good. It's gonna come out the bottom here. Come on, what's in here? Oh, God, my freaking back. They actually made it pretty good. They did tack weld it on right here. They got the burner in place, and that's how they held it up. Drilled some holes. They made a bracket. This was pretty awesome. This was good ingenuity right here. But unfortunately, the burner is not giving me everything I need, so we're gonna have to go with this burner right here. Like I said, this burner has screw brackets, but they're not exactly where these are right here. See? So I could actually mark and screw through this. This is some thick metal. But what I want is, I want this burner part to be, not the burner part, the gas valve to be coming out almost the exact same place. This is where the gas valve came out at right here. I want to put this in from the top. That out like that. It should be pretty easy, to tell you the truth. See, I gotta cut this bigger right here. I gotta cut that around bigger. But if I get that all the way through, this is actually more than likely gonna sit on the top, and then I just make brackets to screw down right into here. I could use L brackets right here because that almost goes right into place right now. Now I don't got a torch to cut this, so I am gonna have to use an angle grinder, glasses, and everything to cut this in a circle. So I'm gonna put this valve in from this side, trace a circle around it, and then use the angle grinder and get it as best I can. But now you see the other burner was underneath this, and it'll be awesome if this could sit on top. Now let me get the crate my son made, and I'll show you what I'm looking at here. This right here is actually gonna sit on here, and that's actually higher. The other one was really too low, so the flame was like this high from the bottom. So this will be closer to the pot. So I do want to try to have this on the top of the dome and the gas valve in the same place, but I got to cut a wider piece right here. Alright, so this is going to be facing up. I already know the gas valve fits right in there. So I got a Sharpie, and I'm going to draw around this right here. Now, I'm going to use my Craftsman angle grinder. I got a masonry bit on here. Then I got to get this masonry bit off. So you just hold the button in, and you use your tool right here, or you turn it the opposite way, and it'll unscrew off. But I got to put a metal blade on it. Now I actually would prefer to use a corded one, but my corded one is broken. But luckily I have 4 batteries for this, so 4 batteries should help. I would honestly prefer to use a regular cutoff wheel, but my 220 compressor is not hooked up right now, hence we're using this. You see I put my goggles on. When you're working with these, the guard is still on. Some people cut the guards a little smaller. Don't take it all the way off, because these right here actually need to be stored inside. They're not supposed to go in extreme temperatures or nothing like that, because they could crack. This is spinning at 10,000 RPM. They could crack. If you got a face mask, wear your face mask. I got my cover on this right here, so let's start grinding. I'll show you some of it, but then I don't want to waste my whole battery on it, so I can see right there. Alright, you could turn this to either side, so I'm trying to see what side will be easier for me to cut. I'd have to spin that around, so I'm going to leave it right here. Lock safety, unlock, you can push it. Okay, and right now I'm just trying to get not to cut all the way through yet, or I said I was just gonna make this into a square, make it so much easier. I had to flip it around because my back's starting to hurt me. I went through 1 battery already. I got it around on a couple places. I'm going to keep cutting it till that ink that's cut out, and then I'm going to use a grinder and grind it kind of in a circle. Okay, that was 2 angle grinder batteries. 2 angle grinder batteries. They got it like that. Let's see, I should be able to get it out now. It's bending pretty good. Let me see if I can get this out. Okay. Almost like a circle, not bad for an angle grinder. So now I can put my batteries back on the charger, and then what I'm going to do is use a grinder and grind this out now with a drill and a grinder bit to make sure that there's no sharp edges right here. Any more cutting or alterations. Look at that. Look at that. I almost look like I know what I'm doing, right? I just gotta clean it up now. I'm gonna put a drill. Okay, don't try this at home, people. This is a masonry stone. One that sat around here for a long time that I just told you about, but it's a 4-inch. It's not a 4.5. So I'll be able to clean up these edges around here with this. So bear with me, let's do that now. Sometimes you gotta work smarter, not harder. I forget my wife bought me a whole Dremel kit. So that's what I'm gonna grind this down with. Okay, so you see it's a little bit off in the center right here, and I can tell just by the way it's sitting in here. But this right here, I have more room at the bottom, and if I just get this little piece of nugget off right here at the top, it should be able to sit center. The good news is this is almost on the screw, and this one's almost on the screw. So I can put brackets right here and brackets right here, but I have to drill through it and make a bracket for that one and that one. So I'm going to use the 4-inch cement grinder and grind a little bit out, so this could lift up a little bit, and then I know this will be even right here. Clean it up now. Perfect, everything's flush, and I can have my temperature control now. This is the temperature control, how much air you're going to let in to attempt to get the blue flame. Everything is resting completely on it, so I'm going to be able to use this screw hole and probably this screw hole right here. I got to drill through here, drill through here. So believe it or not, with this set like this already, I'm going to mark the holes where I need to drill through right now. Okay, so with this burner, all these pieces are flat right here on this. So what I'm going to do is put some angle iron, screw to the top, screw to the bottom, and screw brackets right here. I still would weld it, but it's like 100 degrees outside. I'm not taking this outside to weld. Okay, so I'm going to screw through here, screw in place. Okay, this right here, you see I'm able to control this right here with the temperature setting. Not temperature, but this actually lets how much fire go through with the propane in order for you to get an orange or bluish flame like you're supposed to. So these just got to be tightened down more. But this actually has to be exactly where it's at, because I don't want to sit it on this black piece right here. If it sits on this black piece, it won't turn. I was actually going to anchor it in from the bottom, but I really don't think I have to, because once this is screwed down right here, this isn't moving at all. So you see where the screws are? I'm going to measure probably 1/4 inch on each side, and then I'm going to start cutting this angle iron and then screw through this angle iron to screw this in. Got to get some oil and some titanium bits. No science here. First cut, just approximates. Do not attempt to pick that up if you don't got gloves on, because that will burn you. Kind of see where I'm going with it. So this screw got to be drilled in way at the bottom, because they got to be able to go into there, kind of at the bottom. If there's some room there, I'll put a washer in there, and then I'm gonna screw into right here. Realistically, with just 2 of them should be okay, but I'm probably gonna take my time and do 4 of them. So let me drill through this on this side first, get that in place, and then I'll drill through this. I had to get it actually flat, I had to get it out, but this is the side as a screw. It gives you a pretty lot of meat on there to be able to go through this. So there's enough meat to go through this. So I gotta kind of put this even with this and figure out where that hole is, and then that's where that's going to be screwed in at. Truthfully, it probably should be screwed a little bit higher, because this sits flush on this and this is kind of concaved. So if this goes on here flush, it's going to be up a little bit, and I got to do that hole. But I think it'll be easier if I just did it just like that. So, or I could drill this hole a tad bit bigger, and if I marked it, the little marker, so all you do is you push where you're going to drill, and it actually makes the hole in there for you for your drill bit. It's sitting there. Okay, now I got my drill bit that's actually bigger than the screw to give me a little bit of moving around, but it's smaller than the head of it, so I could have a little bit motion with it. So got some WD-40 gel so we can start drilling. So what you do is you adjust your drill press. That's gonna get hot. You know what? I'm gonna need something else to hold it in place with, because that is going to get hot. Okay. I'm laying on the ground. You get your piece of metal that you put your marking on already, and you get a center. I can start by holding it with my hand. Okay. I'm gonna actually put my drill on first, since it's not touching it yet, and lock it in place. Believe it or not, I was already through this. Started drilling through the stand. Why wouldn't they have something in the stand already? So the hole's all the way through that. And let's go up here. I gotta use a regular drill though for the to go from the top to the bottom. Alright, it's a little bit too high, I believe. That's what's gonna hold it in place. we'll probably drill all of them that exact same height. And then I'm gonna have to make this go up higher. What do you have? What do you have? What do you have? What do you have? All right, so I flipped that one over. I drilled it closer to the bottom where the head could still fit, okay? So this is gonna be up, this is gonna be higher. Nothing I can do about it. Only other thing I can do about it is bring this up a little bit. So I'm gonna put these on first, screw these in first, and then I'll screw these in. This is the one that I really can't pop up or pop any lower because this has to come higher. So I already cut off my 3 pieces of angle iron. I'm gonna put this up here because man, my back is killing me. And then drill 3 more holes and put them all around here. And then before I fix that in place, I'm gonna have to cut that round a little bit more. All these right here, I'm all just gonna cut them as closest to the middle of the L as possible because I know I still got to fit the head in for the screw, but I did put a piece of block underneath here because it was drilling through the dang actual frame itself. Looking pretty dang good for government standards. Whoop, whoop. This, like I said, it has to be, you have to be able to move this because you got to be able to control the air going into it. That's why you got to be able to move that. Put the little legs on it, and the grate fits on the top of it. So I already got 1 hole drilled right there, and this is the reason why I'm not tacking it down, which I could. For one, it's 100 degrees outside. I'm not gonna weld outside. You can't weld in your house. You're gonna get everybody sick if you weld in your house. But for 2, I already got the bit started. Put some more, they're already greasy. Just drill right through them. Then I gotta reach from the bottom to put the nut on from the bottom. Because if I ever gotta take it off for any reason, which I shouldn't for the next lifetime, I could just unbolt it and take it off. All right, so I'm gonna start drilling these holes around. Well, before I do that, I'm gonna make sure I got 4 screws, 4 nuts. All right, 5 because I'm a nut too. All right, I know y'all gonna talk crazy on me, but humor me for a bit with this one. I got sheet metal screws. This bit is smaller than the sheet metal screws. I already got a hole in that piece right there. So with the regular drill, I'm gonna drill a hole smaller than the sheet metal screw. And then from there, I'm gonna see if I can put the sheet metal screw in, and all this either way is smaller than the bolt I will put in. So this should be able to work if I can get the battery to work. There's a hole in here already, so I just gotta try to get through the next piece. And what I know is the sheet metal screw won't make it all the way through that. That's why I'm using the screw head smaller than the sheet metal screw. Okay. Put it on the sheet metal screw. Be right there, love. Oh, my wife's making Spanish rice upstairs. So with the sheet metal screw on, aha, aha, look at that, it's good, it's a good, it's a good. So I'm gonna drill those holes through all of these and put the sheet metal screws in. Woo, 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 woo. Hope I got enough 1/4" sheet metal screws, which I'm looking for right now. Right now, I had to pre-drill because I knew I would go to tons of sheet metal screws trying to drill through all of that, but it did work pretty good. All that's gonna really burn off. Aha, look at that! Look at that! Did I not drill through that one yet? My daughter called me. I didn't drill through that one yet. Got one more that I got drilled through right there. If I would have had a torch, I could have made this look a lot nicer. It's from the side, close enough for government standards. This right here, you're gonna tighten down some not all the way. You want to be able to move this back and forth, but you don't want it to be able to freely move back and forth on its own. Trying to get the blue flame, and this is what lets air go in with the propane or not. There's a 250,000 or 200,000 BTU burner. 200,000 BTU burner. Now, let me check this right here. This is the CNC grate my son made me for that right there. And there's your 200,000 BTU propane burner right there. It does got the wheels on it. I'm leaving the wheels on because it does make it a lot easier for me to get around. But when I use it, I actually put bricks underneath it so it's not sitting on the wheels. So next thing I gotta do is hook up the propane tank, see what happens. Now I opted for their propane tank, their propane hose. For one, because you know it was gonna be the big fitting, the right fitting. But for two, it has its own temperature control right on the fitting itself. So now I can control the temperature, and with the other one I couldn't control the temperature, but nothing but the ball valve. So let me get this on right here, and then I actually got a propane tank that I'm gonna hook it up to. All right, so here we go with the lighting of it. 200,000 BTU burner underneath this grate. I bought this. This was the burner on it right here. This burner is riveted together. Look at it. Not even perfect symmetrical, but it did work. It did work. I call it, people think redneck ingenuity or Mexican ingenuity is a racial slur. Man, I think we just get by with what we could get by on. So what I did is, my son CNC'd me this grate. We didn't have this grate. My son CNC'd me that grate. I switched it to a 200,000 BTU burner. This right here is the control for the fire on the burner. They do not tighten this up. They say do not tighten this up with a wrench, okay? 20 PSI is the most I can come through here. This is off, so I gotta open this all the way up. This is off, opened all the way up now. No flame going through because this is off. So now I gotta turn this on. I hear it on. It is on. Look at that flame right there, okay? But it's not a lot of pressure. So you see that, but now you can control that. You're supposed to be able to control that with this. See? You can't even see that flame. You hear it? Now that's how the flame should be on. 200,000 BTU. The fire is wide open. And woo-wee, that is hot. You put too much, not enough air in it, that's just pure propane coming through. But you don't want that. You want the blue flame, which is right there. 200,000 BTU, 10,000 BTU burner, switched into a 200,000 BTU shrimp boiler. Take it easy. Subscribe, like, and share. One thing also, I know this is a 20-inch grate that was made for me for this, for my son. What I'm going to have put over this is a 20-inch griddle plate that I could put on top of this, so we could also use this as a griddle. But I want the griddle grate to be a little bit square, so we could use this as the non-heated side, and this is the heated side. And the reason why it's low, believe it or not, my theory, you know, I always run with my theories, is that I bought this as a resale shop that was outside in the backyard. Who knows how long it sat there for. But in my theory, it was used for a moonshine still or something like that. The way this was put together, the way this was made, it was pretty awesome. We use it for shrimp boils, but I would like to, and that's another reason why I say it's so low. It's so low to the ground, because if you put a beer keg on it, it'll probably be right here. Then with the top of the beer keg, you know, maybe 8 to 10 feet tall total. But now with this right here, we did our seafood boil, so check out that video, and it worked perfect. But also I want to be able to use it for, it's a little bit square, about up to right here. This is not hot and this is hot. The way to hold it down with stainless steel, so we could use this as a cooktop also. All right, subscribe, like, and share.